Well, I think it's fascinating that there's somehow become this idea that Christianity is like homophobic or racist. You're like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Churches are literally pandering to people. Like, we're putting trans flags on the church to get people in there. What are you talking about? I don't know. When I was doing black comedy clubs with the Wayans brothers and shit, like when I would get into gay bits, they would be like, motherfucker, next subject. Like that might come off a little homophobic. Like, a lot of black people don't play with that shit, but like somehow it's only a problem when Charlie Kirk does it.
You gotta go something too, man. You gotta come do Track Sundays, bro.
I would love to.
Yeah, me and Lonnie was having that conversation. She's like, I want to get Jeff down here. I was like, yeah, we go.
Can you tell him about? Can you tell him about London Brown? Can you tell Lonnie about London Brown?
Get him.
I spoke to Lonnie in a minute.
You just
actually, I texted her today. Just to say, I just said
he just disagreed with himself.
I
haven't talked to her in a minute. Oh, I texted her today.
I know. Well, she ain't spoke to me in a minute. How about
that? She hit me back.
Yeah, but I did reach out just to say, hey, hope all is well.
You guys look good. High quality. Handsome fellas.
Come on, baby. We out here, dog.
Good style and clothes. Not counting BT.
Target classic, baby.
Target classic.
He dresses like I do. Like stuff he likes.
Yeah, Marvel. He don't have to match or nothing.
He always
He goes,
best
I like
dressed.
Spider-Man. What's that?
He always best dressed.
Yeah.
Me, it depends on the day. I had ADR to do earlier today. Look for Lil Kev.
All right, that's what's up. Working employed.
There you go.
Actor,
animated series,
voiceover.
Okay.
We're talking about clothes, and he goes, "Here's the thing I was doing."
That's why I'm dressed like this.
Slide it in there.
Yeah.
I throw on some bullshit. Go do ADR. Yeah. I'm the humble bragger. Not so slightly.
Yeah, not so slightly. It goes in waves.
He picked his outfit for ADR.
So I was like, let me just throw on some bullshit. Go do this ADR.
No, you look good.
Let me get a check.
The Wonder Brother lot.
Check real quick. I'm come do this punk ass.
I put this on because I was getting lunch with Adam Sandler earlier.
You could have been.
True, yeah.
I was about to say it could have been.
But like just to bring it up.
Man, we got one of the funniest comedians in the game.
Thank you.
Stand-up specials.
What's your name?
A movie. No, I just be going right into it, man.
I got you.
All that, man. Nobody care about me. They here for him.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Hey, man, it's the kid Justin Hyers. Welcome to another episode of Killin. We also got
London Brown,
BT Kingsley.
And man, like I was saying, man, this is one of the funniest comedians in the game. Stand-up specials. Got a movie he's starring in. Called Stealing Jokes. I like Stealing Jokes too. I like
that's
the movie.
nice. Yeah, Mike Young's movie.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it, bro. This dude's touring all over the country, the world, blowing up on social media. He is killing it. Okay, give it up for the one and only Jeff Dye.
In the building, my
Thanks for having me,
guy.
fellas.
Yeah, man.
I was excited when you guys asked me. I didn't even know you guys did this. I'm pumped to do it.
Hey, man, we wanted to kick it off. We wanted to kick it off right. We wanted to make sure that we had voices from all different demographics and, you know, just everyone. We wanted to have everyone on this platform.
That's the white guy warning.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
you are our DEI guest.
I was doing a show with D. Ray Davis, who's the man, and he, you know, I'm the first white comic on the show, and he goes, all right, this next guy, you know, we love all people, man. Give this guy, treat him with the same love you gave everyone else. And I was like, oh, this is the white guy warning.
I mean, we looking out for you.
Yeah, it's great. I
you know
love
what I'm saying? But it comes from a place of love.
No, I like it.
So we want to start from like the beginning, man. First of all, I know you had some huge loss recently in your life. Your father passed. Charlie Kirk was a good friend of yours. I just wanted to ask, like, how are you feeling just today?
I'm getting through everything. Yeah, I mean, I would say Charlie Kirk was a close friend, but I knew him well and worked with him. And then, you know, to lose your dad is it's been very weird. Navigating the world with knowing he's not in it has been strange. So yeah, it's been tough. This is the first thing I've kind of done since it happened. So.
Oh man, I heard a quote from Steve Harvey not too long ago. He said, "With the dad, it's always interesting." He said, "When you lose your dad, you realize this is the only, this is the first man, this is the only man that ever wanted me to be better than them." And it's like he said it was when you realized that was when it was super hard for it. It's like I want the best for everybody. I want you to be better than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I once read that you you don't become a man until your father dies.
Wow.
But that can also happen like metaphorically. You can kind of like, it doesn't have to literally die, but it's once you realize like you're on your own and you got to be good and you got to be virtuous. You got to take care of shit.
You got to take care of your family. Yeah.
Take care of your girl or your kids, or like you've got to become the guy.
Yeah.
With this going through the situation, what do you feel your father taught you about love?
Good question. My dad was married to my mom for over 55 years. They never were divorced. My mom is that's why this has been very difficult too. Is like my mom's never known a world without my dad. She was married she was wearing a wedding ring in high school, 17 years old. You know, like to my dad, and like 3 kids. And as interesting as parents as they were a great couple. And so he was very like faithful and very like loyal to her. I don't really know what he taught me. That's a very, very insightful question. I'm not sure, but he was a good dad. So that was nice to have as a kid.
That's beautiful. You want to start at the beginning. You was going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. So I wanted to start at the beginning, man. Like, so where were you born?
Yep.
You know, what was your upbringing like? You with your siblings, and how was that life?
I grew up in Kent, Washington.
Come on, Kent.
Very white trash. Very long line of white trash. Yeah, it's an hour south of Seattle, Washington. So I started comedy in Seattle because there's no comedy clubs in Kent. But I grew up in Kent, Washington. I had a lot of learning disabilities, so like reading and being the school kid was not like my thing. But I was always good at making the class laugh. And so I knew I wanted to be a comedian since 1st grade.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I didn't know a stand-up comedian. I didn't even know what stand-up comedy was. But I was aware enough to know I'm pretty good at making people laugh. And then also that's how you're going to make friends is like, you know, if you be silly. And then also I would watch TV and be like, well, Chris Farley doesn't work in a warehouse. You know, when I was watching TV, I'm like, Eddie Murphy isn't. He doesn't, you know, he's not in office 9 to 5. Like, I'll just do what these guys do. These guys are silly for a living. So I didn't know I'd wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but I knew I wanted to be a comedian since 1st grade. So I was like, that's it. Every day, class clown was like my thing. And so that's that. And then I went through school, and I don't even know how to give you from everything. So then when my friends went to college, which was not in the cards for old dyslexic Jeff, I just went to a comedy club and became a comic.
In Seattle.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you felt like your talents or interests were different from other people? And then, if so, like, when did you start to shape that, or how did you do that?
Well, I always tell, and actually, it's funny you say that. So, I knew I was funny. I knew that's all I had to offer. You know, I had, like, long hair, and I had, like, jagged teeth, and then eventually braces. And then my parents were poor, so the fashion was terrible. And so I learned pretty early. Girls aren't, you know, crazy about me, young at least. That affected my confidence. And then I wasn't very athletic, so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to fit in with that circle. I have, like, dyslexia, so the school part, I can't be like one of these academic kids that finds identity in that. But I was funny, so I was like, all right, this is a good way to get attention from people and make friends, is by being silly and funny. And so I knew that was special. And whenever I talk to my nieces or any young people, I'm like, hey, you know when you're in the gym and there's that big strong guy and he's lifting weights, like, let him be king there. Let the big strong guy be king of the gym, you know?
Right.
And when it's the basketball team, let, you know, whoever's crushing it, let that be their thing. But you find your thing where you get to be king. And I kind of like felt that with like comedy. Like I was okay with, you know, you being the smartest kid in school or you being the strongest guy in the gym. I'll be the funny guy. Like we all kind of have our little areas, and so that's probably the first thing I knew that I was like special at. And I embraced it.
So you didn't play any sports?
Tried to. Yeah. I loved all the sports. Just one.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'4", but I shot up after high school.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and I was and also when you grow in the spurts that I did, I was very clumsy. You know, I had huge feet and big hands and like all skinny.
Right.
So when you started getting the bitches, Jeff?
I've always liked them. They didn't always like me.
Cause I'm trying to. I know they own you now. They gotta be on you now.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Very happy. Try to catch up quickly. That is one thing we all have in common.
Hey, the bitches,
I love these ladies. That's the best.
Yeah.
Well, early on, I knew that they didn't care about me, right? I didn't have much to offer. So I learned, well, if they don't like me, like I gave up quick. I was like, if they don't like me, fuck it. So I would just like fart off the chairs in class, try to get the laughs. I wasn't even playing to like trying to get, you know, flirt with them or whatever. And then what girl's going to want to be with that kid.
Yeah.
You know, everyone agreed I was the funniest kid, but nobody's going, oh, I'm taking the kid that farts in class to homecoming.
Right.
And so I just gave up on that. I didn't even try. But then as I kind of like filled into my body, and then my sisters taught me how to like do my hair and all that stuff. Kind of high school is when vanity entered my life. But by then I'd already adopted a personality with humor and stuff. So
was there a setback in your childhood where at the time it looked like at the time in your childhood perhaps it was a setback, but you now look at maybe was a turning point into your funny?
Oh yeah, I think that the dyslexia that I keep referencing was a great way to be unique. As far as like, I read this book, Malcolm Gladwell has a great book called David and Goliath, and in the book it talks about like a normal, whatever normal is, an average brain when it's learning goes from A to B to C to D. Whereas if you have dyslexia, your brain will go from A to C, then to M, then jump back to B, and then you'll eventually land at D, which is where we're trying to get, from an average brain. And he goes, so to other people that seems funny. Like you'll say a thing and they're like, how did he get to M? And so then that makes you seem like I was just trying to learn, I was getting laughs in class. I would like raise my hand and ask a question that was sincere, and then the whole class would laugh, and then I would look around like, yes, I did that on purpose. But it wasn't. It was just me going, I guess I'm funny to people, So
do you feel like that do you feel like that has added to your perspective on comedy?
For sure, yeah.
Wow.
My brain goes in weird routes, but then that can also make for unpopular opinions. So like in improv, they teach you to yes and.
Right.
If I say, Mayor, what are you doing out there? He now knows that I've made him the mayor, and he has to yes and it. Now he takes on that and it adds to it. Where with stand-up, it's kind of like, no, but... And it's like a stand-up is always thinking of like they're almost contrarian in a fashion of like, you've heard this, but I think this, and so that is kind of how my brain works. But that can also be unpopular.
That's a great description of you, stand-up wise, because in my brain you've always had the contrarian thing.
Yeah.
But it's always been like butted up next to this childlike goofiness.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. Right. it's very much always been that. Subject matter I've seen change over time, but
sure.
The humor is that's
what's
a Jeff I know.
The strange about the way I'm perceived is that like we're only in my business is what I'm saying considered controversial.
Right.
If I had these exact views as a banker, you'd go, sure. Or if I had these exact views as like a post office delivery guy,
right.
like you wouldn't even think about it. But we are in such this like, gay, liberal, like weird rooms that it hits people's ears strangely.
Right.
In LA also.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, the time that we're in has definitely made things very sensitive. And what's the name? Have you? I don't want to. We was on a great path though. I don't want to lose where you were, Justin.
No, I was to piggyback on that statement. What do you feel is the biggest misconception about you?
I think people they misinterpret maybe my heart or what I'm saying with the tone and the optics of it. So I don't think that critics are wrong. I think they're just criticizing the wrong things about me. Because my message, like I'll have a whole bit explaining that like I just think trans people are weird, but I still love them. I'm sure they think I'm weird because I love Jesus.
You say it just like that.
Yeah. And I love Jesus. I bet that they think, what a stupid idiot that he loves Jesus. And that's okay. I don't call them Christian phobic and crash out and think that they shouldn't perform in the same comedy clubs as me.
Right.
But also like, I can love you and think you're weird. You got lip gloss on and a tube top and you have a cock. That's kind of weird to me. Yeah, but that's okay. It's okay to be weird. Why is that a problem that I said it's weird? It's weird to me. I think that's hilarious. And so I guess another thing I think that's maybe that they're misconceiving about me is that like I am coming from a place of love, but they don't have that same energy towards Dave Chappelle when he talks about these subjects. They don't have the same energy towards Ricky Gervais or Tim Dillon or any of the people that are doing the exact same thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, not exact same thing, but you get my point.
I feel like Chappelle do get some pushback.
Yeah, and I think that's stupid too.
Yeah. Now, I feel you. Religion. I wanted to ask you with your upbringing, like were your parents religious? Like where does religion come into play for you?
Well, my parents were agnostic. When we were really young, they went to we'd have to all go to this like Baptist or not Baptist. It was a United Methodist church, and when you're a kid, at least me, we hated it. It was so boring, and we were just like, this is like it's Sunday, we got to dress nice, and we hated it. And then what happened was my mom found out something that was going on in the church. And she made a big stink, total Karen about the subject. And the church was not that they disagreed with her, just that they disagreed with the way she handled it. Instead of just maybe bringing up the way appropriate, like she crashed up, she made a big mess. So they're like, hey, the way you handled this, like we don't want you here. And so they kicked my family out of the church, and me and my sisters were overjoyed that we didn't have to go to church anymore. And then
get out of here.
Yeah, and now that we're agnostic, it was almost rebellious for me to get into religion. Because now it's not being forced down my throat. So as I got older, the nicest kids at my school were the Christian kids, and they had answers too. I was asking questions like, where do we come from? And all my other friends were like, who cares? Let's smoke pot, let's skateboard. And then the Christian kids were like, here's the answers. And also, do you want to go to this like lock-in or go on a ski trip? And I was like, this is all right, So that got me into church, which made my mom and dad furious because they're like, oh, you're going to become a hypocrite. Like the church that kicked us out. And I don't know if you guys are spiritual or what your faith is.
I grew up Southern Baptist.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a story in the Bible about how Mary loses Jesus in the church, and she's panicking and she can't find him, and he's actually preaching to his elders of the church or whatever it's called. And that story is a great story, but it's also a great metaphor for losing Jesus in the church. Like my mom and dad punished God because this church kicked him out. It's like you lost Jesus in the church. You got so lost in all the human workings of the church that you completely lost your faith. And so I'm very outspoken and Christian now, and it's what I believe. And people treat I feel like one problem with our town too is they treat their politics like religion. Like people are just like, they have more passion about being a Democrat or a Republican or
I feel like it's both sides. Yeah,
or their sexuality is their religion, and I'm like, why is this so important to you?
That's literally that's absolutely anti in the Bible. The only God is God, and you're not supposed to elevate other things in the place of God. It's like you filling that emptiness with all the wrong things. It's definitely not supposed to be anything but Him. That's for sure.
And while they're simultaneously claiming they hate religion, they treat their politics like it's their religion. Like they won't talk to someone who doesn't agree with their things. They're treating, even race. We're treating race like religion now, or like our culture like our religion. And it's like, no, you got to love everybody. You got to what are we doing? You don't just go, I heard them say that, and now I will never speak to them again. That's a very dangerous religious thing.
Yeah, I'll never talk to you again. Has always been when people take those harsh stance, it's jarring. It's jarring. I have. How long were you in Seattle doing comedy before you transitioned to LA?
3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, only 3 years. But the comedy club that I started at was called Giggles Comedy Club, and the owner, rest in peace, was a very controversial man. And so the other comics in Seattle and the other comedy clubs in Seattle, they just didn't like this guy, and for good reason. There was a lot. This guy he did crimes nightly. He poured crappy liquor into the top shelf bottles. I mean, this guy was just a very controversial guy, and I feel bad talking bad about him since he's passed, but very racist, very sexist. I mean, and not shy about it either. It wasn't even masked. This guy was just a bad dude, and I realized quickly that if I just make this guy think that I'm on his team or whatever, I'll get as much stage time as I can because there's no comics want to come here, but they got audiences and they got a big it's an A-list club.
I'm trying to go up.
Yeah, and every weekend he's got A-list headliners, Greg Giraldo, and literally the best of the best would come to this club every weekend, and he's got nobody to open for him. He's got nobody to do guest spots. He's got no. So I was like, I'll just pretend. I'll just stay quiet when he talks and go, yes sir, and then when the comic would be in the green room talking trash about the owner, I would be like, yeah, he's the worst. And then I go to the bar and he's like, these comics like Bill Burr, they don't give a shit about us. And I'm like, you're right, he's the worst. I would just play both sides.
Yeah.
So that gave me so much stage time that I was able to become a pretty decent comic quicker than other people. But I think that stage time was probably what most comics would get in 10 years.
That's what we were talking about on another episode about. It's not just about the amount of years that you do comedy, but how many reps you're getting in.
100%.
Yeah, and that'll expedite your growth quickly. So,
and to be honest, I had no business being up there. I was like a glorified, not even glorified, I was an open micer. And he'd be like, you're doing 30 minutes tonight in front of Marin. I'm like, all right. You know, just because, and I'm like, I guess I better write some stuff, you know? You got to get good quick when you're being thrown. I had no business being up there.
What up, man? It's your boy BT Kingsley, man. Killin the Pod is here. Been a great time, man. Subscribe to the page. You here? Press that button.
So I want to know, how long were you doing stand-up before you feel like it started to like take off for you? Like, was it the social media, or was it X amount of years, or was it a certain credit?
Well, there's like different chapters of that question. I think, like, you know, like the first time I stopped worrying about money after 3 years. Once I got on Last Comic Standing, I never worried about money again.
You did Last Comic very early there.
Or 3 years. 3 years
Wow.
in.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was very young. I was a 23-year-old kid, and like, so like that was one chapter. And then, you know, then I started doing TV stuff. And so now more people knew me from being on television or hosting game shows or whatever. And they're like, you know, he also does stand-up? Like, that was like a secondary thought, even though stand-up's my first love, and it was what I did most and what I was best at.
So, okay, wait, just you was doing other TV. Is Girl Code's not before Last Comic?
No, Girl Code is way after.
Okay, yeah. That's what I
so
thought.
right after I did, like, it's crazy. So, like, right after I did Last Comic Standing, NBC gave me a development deal, which means I couldn't work in any network TV for a year. And with the promise that they put me on things, and they never did, but it's good money.
Good
and I'm
old
just
day, that
sitting
good
around.
old money.
Yeah, and then I'm doing stand-up and just.
Can you say how much it was, or are you?
I don't know what it was, but I mean, it wasn't
It was
crazy.
good, though.
Well, no, it was good for a kid who was sleeping in his car.
Got it.
It wasn't good for life. I mean, I think it was like $10,000, but
Okay.
like I see to hold a $10,000
Right.
check. I was like.
BT be like, what's your routing number? He always asks me, if I can get your routing number and account number.
Social Security, though.
Social Security
Y'all
number.
told me in the text
Well,
message
no,
chat,
I'm
I'm
happy to
supposed
tell
to
you
be the
any
bird.
numbers, but I'm just like, I don't want to make it sound like 10,000.
Right.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of money. I got you.
At that time, like, I was like, dang, like, I'll do whatever. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And so I immediately, Ashton Kutcher wanted to make a show, or he was already making a show, and he made me the host of a show called Numb Nuts. And like, it was funny because Jackass was big and the Dudesons, and so Numb Nuts was supposed to be like this new thing on MTV, and we shot 12 episodes that paid really good, and I was the main host of it. And then Snooki got punched on MTV,
Yeah.
you know, and then that made Jersey Shore like the most popular thing.
Yeah.
And they learned that all the programming, everyone was watching was women. So they're like, scrap all the guy programming. Go Teen Mom, 15 and Pregnant, Jersey Shore. So they just went with female programming. So that show never saw.
Is this around the reality boom also?
Yeah, well, it was
Gotta
2008.
So it never
yeah.
came out?
It never came out. It came out years later on MTV2, but by then no one cared, and it's MTV2. But so like because of that, there was like a chain reaction stuff. I got a show called Money from Strangers, which was basically just Impractical Jokers, but like way edgier. And then I did Extreme Makeover Home Edition as one of the designers. Like I just kept collecting like work in TV while doing stand-up. I'll be honest, I didn't really pop like as far as like selling tickets and stuff until the last like 5 or 6 years.
And what was that moment? Was it social media?
Social media, yeah.
Yeah. This is, hold on, before we get to the social media starting to get lit. You have accomplished something that I tried to do, and I got so much backlash.
Oh, really? What happened?
I unfollowed everybody
Oh, yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
And niggas couldn't take it.
They got upset.
Talking Marlon Wayne's calling. Well, you unfollow? I'm talking people
Really?
hitting me up.
I got 0. I followed 0.
I just saw that today.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna ask you why you did it.
Okay.
I did it because one, it was affecting my mental health.
Yes.
Where I was on TV shows at the time. None of my friends, peers, I felt like I would post something, they don't like my shit, but I see they done liked everybody else stuff. And I'm like, well, damn, I thought we was cool.
Right.
So you're not supporting my shit when I'm saying see me on MacGyver every Friday night or watch me on Rush Hour.
Yeah.
But I see you liking this person like, yo, I just booked a Pepsi commercial. And they're like, ah, shit.
Right.
And they liking all it. Not saying, not saying
I didn't do
BT
Pepsi till
yeah,
recently. This was before after you.
Hey,
followed
look,
it.
can you bring your flex down?
He just did a
BT.
Pepsi
Sprite
commercial
for 3 years. I'm just saying.
So that was part of it.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, if nobody ain't really supporting me, then I was just like, fuck. I was on some like, fuck everybody. I'm
Sure.
gonna just focus on my thing.
Which is healthy too. Sometimes you got to go, this is it. I'm the cowboy.
And
Fuck off.
And that was the other thing was I felt like my other reason was when you're in a race, if you're busy looking at what everybody else is doing, it's gonna slow you down. Yep. So I said if I don't have nobody else videos popping up on my feed, that's just keeping me focused on my goals that I'm trying to accomplish, and I'm not looking at and worried about what everybody else is doing. But I got so much backlash from my peer group that I started following. So I still don't follow people on other social media platforms, but on Instagram, I follow people back. What's your reason?
Oh, check your shit. Make sure you follow me.
So
I'll follow y'all.
It's complicated. So there's a lot of answers to this. I'll try to go through all of them. One, very similar. I'm doing this alone. This is just me and the Lord. I'm done with it. Two, where does it end? If I'm the love everybody guy, and I genuinely do, and I want everyone to like me, and I want to be friends with everyone, do I just follow everyone now? Now that's not special. And then also I was with a girl who was, a very jealous girlfriend. And I think jealous is, I have a pretty fine relationship with jealous people. I think that's kind of sweet, I think it's good, jealousy means you care,
You like just a tad of toxicity.
I think it's okay.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and also I might get jealous too. What are you talking to that guy for? It's healthy. Our God has a jealous love, and so do I. So I was with this chick, and at that time when I was following people, you would go do a radio show, you do Howard Stern or something, and there'd be 3 other people there, and they'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a comedian." They're like, "Oh, I'm a porn star, or I'm a dancer, or I'm Amber Rose," and then you go, "I'll follow you," and you follow. Because just being respectful, you both follow each other, and then I would come back from the road, and then she would be like, "Why are you following this girl?" And I go, "Oh, I don't know. I just met her at the radio. It's just kind of a thing you do." And I didn't like that they're always keeping tabs on that. When you have a girl seeing every like that you like or seeing every person you follow, and it's like, I'm not going to have another fight over who I follow. So if I just set the precedent that I don't follow anyone, then no one can get mad. And I don't see anyone as anyone special or anyone, beneath me or above me. Joe Rogan follows me. I don't follow Joe Rogan. And I wouldn't hurt my feelings if Joe goes, "Well, I'm not gonna follow Jeff." That's okay. It's okay, So that's why I did it.
Yeah.
If I get married, I'll follow that one chick. How about that? She can feel special that she's the one follow.
10th anniversary.
That'd actually be really great to hold it over her head too. Why'd you unfollow?
Yeah,
you're acting up.
Okay. I'll go for it.
No, I'm gonna say your general tone about life is generally no, it'll be fine. Everything, it's with people. Where does that come from? What is that energy? Because when Jeff, you always been very nice and where does that energy come from?
Good question. I don't know. I do think I don't like feeling stressed out or anything, so I'm just trying not to. People go, "You can have kids," and I go, "If I have kids, that'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to me." But if I don't have kids, that probably will be the greatest thing that ever happened. Or I'm real content being in my house alone with all the great things I have and all the beautiful friends I have. Yeah. And so if I don't fall in love, that's going to be awesome. I got all this freedom. I can do whatever I want. But if I fall in love, that might be the best thing that happens to me too. It's I just love life. We're going to go through it, and it's going to be great whatever happens.
With your friends, are there any friends that you feel like you should have let go sooner?
What do you mean by let go?
Meaning maybe the separation between you two should have happened. You drug it out maybe longer than you needed to.
No. I mean, if I'm honest, if someone's able to tell me responsibly about their actions, then I can forgive them forever. As long as they're willing to go, "Hey, I screwed up back there." Okay. I'm quick to forgive on that. It's the pride of I didn't do anything wrong, and why are you getting all weird? It's man, I got feelings. You hurt them. That's another thing that I believe is the current problem with America, is that we're not trying to hear each other no more. We're trying to debate. We're trying to win. Everything's became the barbershop. Oh, LeBron's better than Jordan. Jordan's better, which is fun. That's fun to do, but we're not listening to each other no more. There's this great guy named Jordan Peterson. He's got this thing where he's if you're going to have a fight with your wife, you don't want to defeat her. You don't want to win the argument because you have to live with her tomorrow. Right. Wow. You need to listen to her. See why she feels like that. She needs to hear you. If you're really trying to make this work, you don't want to defeat anyone. And I think that nowadays, whether it's Republican and Democrat or whether it's whatever, we're trying to all get the points. We've got this like debate culture where you're like, here's something you don't know about this, and oh, did you know this? And actually, here's why it's different. And there's this real argumentative kind of tone. And I don't want to have that with anybody. Like, I want to be able to be like, oh, let's talk and still hear each other and see each other. I'm not trying to win no more.
I'm sorry.
No.
Was there like a coach or mentor, a relative, somebody that believed in you before you did? And if so, what belief did they unlock?
Sean Kilgallen was one of my best teachers I ever had, Mr. Kilgallen. And I think he was just good. That's why he's a good teacher, is because he didn't just do this for me. He did it for all the students.
Wow.
But, But he was very good about being like, all right, Jeff needs attention. You know, I think this kid won't shut up. He's trying to get everyone. So he would start the class. He'd come in and be like, you guys ready? And the bell would ring, and he'd be like, Di, what'd you do this weekend? And I was like, nothing. And then he would kind of like tease me or make fun. But he knew by just giving me that attention up front that like I would now like be, he just knew how to like.
What grade is this?
That's
junior high.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was great, and he was a really good teacher. So like, and then they would always like pull me aside too, be like, man, you got a gift. Like, kids like you, kids are responding to you. Like, they're, you know, it's hard to keep control of this class with you always screwing around. Like, I need you to help me out, you know. So little things like that. I'm trying to think. This guy named Ronnie Wilson, he was a guy who worked in the church, and he was the one that like said, you need to go be a stand-up comedian.
How early was that?
Because I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but I wasn't doing it. And he knew I wanted that. He's like, why aren't you doing that? And I was like, well, I don't know how to do it. He's like, well, let's go. You know, like let's figure it out. What would it take to be a comedian? Do you go to an open mic? Like he was like basically saying, get your ass in gear.
So with that in mind, wanting to do stand-up is different from deciding to. So when did you decide to do it?
I decided to do it. I was working for the church, and I was like a young life leader. And so you would go up in front of the students and dress up in a costume. It was very corny, you know, stuff. But like we were getting laughs, and it was like getting in front of kids. And this guy Ronnie was like, hey, you know, you need to start. You're making $0 at the church.
Yeah.
In fact, you're raising all this money for the church, and you living like a homeless kid. You know, it was like living on couches.
How old were you at this time then?
In my 20s, like 21, 22. And I was working at Red Robin to pay my bills. And
I know, right?
And it was you know, it wasn't glamorous at all. And so he was basically like, listen, man, whatever you want to do, I'm gonna encourage. So if you sit across from me right now and tell me you want to be a pro wrestler, I'm gonna say, Jeff, let's get you some steroids. Let's get you to a wrestling school. Like, he's like, we'll do whatever it takes. And I think that I needed that. Like, I wish my dad or a man would have came into my life and said that sooner, of like, get your shit together. Like, there's nothing. I wish people could hear this too. It's going to fall deaf on you guys because you guys do it. You already know this. But there's people out there who need to know, like, it's okay to have a dream. It's okay to pursue that. It's okay to, like, want that. People scoff at LA like it's a problem. You're like, I think it's great.
Right.
Everyone here is one email away from like changing their bank account, changing their life.
Right.
Like there's nothing wrong with like wanting to chase your dreams. And so he was like, let's do it, you know? Like, and so I was like, all right. So I moved to Seattle literally that week, sold all my stuff that I had, which wasn't much, you know, and I lived right above the comedy club.
So when you do Last Comic, how did that elevate things going forward? Obviously the Last Comic coming. Let me not ask about Last Comic. Girl Code, because you was one of the super popular ones on Girl Code.
Yeah, Girl Code was like years later, and I was kind of in this limbo of like not having no TV work or anything, and those shows were really popular. Guy Code was already popular. But then they were like, we're thinking about making a Girl Code. And I auditioned to be on Guy Code. And they were like, hey, you'd be great for Girl Code. And I was like, I'm a boy. Like, I don't want to be, you know, I'm not gay. Why do you want me to, like, be on Girl Code? But I was the first guy on Girl Code. And it was fine. But I would like to actually talk about Last Comic Standing because I don't think a lot of people know this story. So I never auditioned for Last Comic Standing.
Oh.
Last Comic Standing was a thing for 6 seasons or 7 seasons before I was on it, where every comic once a year would be like, I think I'm going to audition for, and they had auditions in Houston, San Francisco. I'm trying to think, like the major cities.
New York, yeah.
And comics would drive there, or they would fly there, or they wait in the line and try to do their best 2 minutes in front of the celebrity judges. And it's very produced, but also you can make it. It's kind of a lottery. Well, they were doing a unique thing on my season where they would have the host of Last Comic, which was rotating. I think like one year it was some white guy who was drunk guy all the time, Anthony Clark.
Okay.
And then one year it was all these different hosts. My year was Bill Bellamy. So they were doing a thing where they're going to send Bill Bellamy into these towns that have comedy clubs. And he's just going to watch comics, and without them knowing that that's their audition of Last Comics for Last Comic Stand. So I get a call. I'm like the Giggles comic, right? And so like I'm just always at this comedy club that has the owner that's controversial. And the Comedy Underground calls and says, hey, can you come down and do a spot at the Comedy Underground? That never happens. I mean, I do spots at the Comedy Underground, but they've never called to the other club. And I said, really? And they go, yeah, but you got to come down and do your best stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm working on this new bit. They go, no, do your best stuff. And I was like, what is going on down there? So I didn't think much about it, although it was unusual. I roll in. It looked like any other night. They didn't have no cameras or lighting. It was just a regular night. And I get off stage, and I had the best set. I had a great set. And I get off, and I was like, all happy, getting my love, and feeling good. And then he goes, stick around. And I go, no, I'm going to go back to Giggles. And they're like, no, like, just stick around. I'm like, something is up. Something's going on. So then Bill Bellamy gets on stage after the Last Comic and says, these guys didn't know, but they were auditioning for Last Comic Standing. I'm going to pick 2 guys, and this counts as their leapfrog of the audition. Like, now they're on Last Comic. They've went to the next round. And Bill Bellamy goes, hands down, best comedian of the night, this guy, Jeff Dye. And he brought me on stage. He gave me a big hug. He was like, dude, you're very good. You've got that it thing. You smile at the crowd. They respond to it. Like you're going to be a star. Yeah. And nobody had ever said that to me. And also, I was only 3 years into comedy, so like to hear that like meant a lot. And I say all the time, I don't tell this story, but I say Bill Bellamy is who broke my career. I just saw him at the airport. He gave me a big hug. Like him and his security guard, Emery, was one of my favorite. Like,
yeah, Big E.
He's the best. Bill Bellamy was to hear him say that to me, like, you're gonna be like a star, dude. And like I believed it. Like I believed it when he said it. And like he was doing press on the road for Last Comic Standing. He's like, we got this one guy, Jeff Dye. And I was like, oh, he's like, it's so nice to hear him say my name. And so anyways, Bill Bellamy is gets credit for all this in my opinion.
See that black people give white people jobs too.
That's it. That's true.
Hey, so this is what I wanted to ask you. How has being seen as a more conservative comedian affected you when it comes to bookings at clubs? Has it affected you any or no?
It's affected me zero because they don't care. They wouldn't care what I'm doing up there as long as it sells tickets.
Right.
The second you're not selling tickets, now that would be your go-to thing to blame them. But really, you shouldn't even blame them for that. No, they're not booking you because you didn't move tickets. It don't matter if you're a TikToker, a Real Housewife, or a pro wrestler, or the Hodge twins, or the trans, or a queer eye guy wearing a dress. Like, they don't care. Yeah. If people are going to come in there and buy tickets and buy drinks, you're good.
Yeah, and I only asked that question because a comedian that I know, a conservative comedian, he was telling me that he was having difficulty getting booked at the L.A. comedy clubs. And he said he feels like because his material is more conservative leaning, is why he wasn't getting booked at some of these comedy clubs.
I believe he wouldn't get spots. There's plenty of places I don't get spots.
In L.A.
Right. And that is because maybe it's produced by a booker who'll be like, we're not putting that bullshit on my show. And that's fine. Because, again, I didn't move those tickets. That's just their audience. And then they kind of decide what's good for their audience.
Do you feel like your material is conservative leaning, or that audience just responds to you in a certain way?
Well, I've been a liberal my whole life. I've said this a bunch. Is that like I haven't changed any of my views. Just being a liberal now is being conservative. Being a 2001 liberal is being conservative. So growing up in Pacific Northwest, like we didn't trust big pharma on nothing. My parents are like, we're liberals. We don't get no big pharma. We don't trust Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. And so now, I don't know how this happened. Yeah. How are liberals going, you don't trust big pharma? You don't trust Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson? You're like, yeah, Yeah, that used to be a liberal quality. Also, I never even heard of a trans person in 2001. I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
And so now,
Oh, I seen them.
my support.
Where I lived at. They was walking the street. They were walking the street.
Eddie Murphy knew about
Eddie-
it, but well, that was just like a wig on their head, and the rest was,
Well, you know, what's so funny. While I was writing, credit drop, half baked too.
Attaboy.
But it came in and went. Not my fault. When I was writing it, I had a joke in there, and it was a transvestite character.
Yeah.
But the producer at Universal was like, well, actually, it's transgender, and I didn't know the difference.
Right.
And I was like, well, what's the difference? I think now you being nitpicky.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Playing with words.
Transvestite means they're just wearing the dress in wig or whatever. Transgender means they actually had the operation.
Interesting, because I think that definition's changed.
It's got to be because that sounds like
Once
drag
you post that,
or queer.
Well,
and
drag,
also,
yeah.
there's plenty of transgender people who didn't get the op, and they refused to. Caitlyn Jenner's didn't get the operation,
And she calls herself transgender.
Yeah, and I think that's changed probably, or just so you know, like people might.
That
comment.
bitch trying to get me
For
canceled.
all the
out
people
here.
that are wondering BT's views about transgender, please refer to Flame and Roe. Whatever Flame says, I agree with.
Yeah, and also like I can. It's such a funny thing. It's like it's just not good enough. It's just always changing. You know?
Chat GPT, what's transgender? I need to know what Chat GPT. It said West. Hold on. I want to know that. What's transgender? I need to know this answer.
You got adverse. What's that? I want to ask this.
I heard a guy say yesterday. He goes, "Oh, he's one of these guys, anti-gay, anti-trans." I go, "What do you mean anti? That's such a quick." What do you mean anti? Does it mean he makes jokes about it in his act? Does that mean he's hates them? Does it mean he wants them dead? What do you mean anti?
Jeff, let's talk.
Yeah.
It say transgender. It's basically just how they feel.
Yeah, it's from the Philly from
that's
inside
a
out.
real tough definition.
Yeah, it's how they feel.
So,
Well, I feel white today.
Which is more.
Got my goddamn feet up.
Yeah, there you go. Get comfy, dude.
I feel like an owner. I feel real good. All right, my bad. I'm sending this off the rails. Go for it.
So I see responses or comments or controversies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, I know Jeff very specific. Jeff, you're one of the first comics to ever invite me into their home. I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't know what you guys are saying. I'm seeing the same energy that changed because at one point your comedic style was like it was like women. It was like women this, relationships this, that.
Sure.
And women would be a little irritated. It was like they would feel away. And then look at you and be like, I love this guy, but he's a jerk.
Yeah.
So now I just see it's the same style.
Yeah.
It's just applying to the things that you're seeing in front of you
Sure.
that people are a little bit more sensitive to. And now I see that response. But I'm going through a rabbit hole. I'm like, I know Jeff, but I'm like, what did I miss?
Right.
I was like, did he do something? And I'm listening and I'm looking and I'm listening and I'm looking. I'm like, you guys, I don't know. One hand, somebody will say, if people have this view of they saw a joke and they're like, oh, Jeff's he's homophobic or he's just that. And then there was this, you posted a clip where you're on stage and you're doing jokes about the community.
Yeah.
And some and guys butt fucking and so on and so forth. And then you showed a comic that went on behind you who was openly gay. And right after, you go and kiss the guy. I'm like, you guys,
I kissed him right on the lips.
Right on the lips.
Man, what are you?
I was like, I said,
said,
it can't be both. You can't say he's homophobic and he's kissing gay men on the lips on stage, on camera. I said, it can't be both. And with a smile, the gay dudes laughed and it was hilarious. Yeah. And I was like, okay, you guys, it's foggy, it's murky. Right. I was like, there's a gray area that's not being identified, and I'm just like, when you're perceiving it, I feel like that the audience that might be supporting. Do you feel like they're weaponizing you, or like, or
I don't know.
They just buying the tickets?
I just think that it's tricky because, like, I think we should be able to make jokes about whatever we want.
Right.
And the more the people say you can't make that joke, the more we're gonna make those jokes, in my opinion, or at least I'm going to. Like, what are you talking about? And I love everyone. I can't say it enough times, and people go, "I know about you. You love everyone, guy. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Every joke is coming from a place of love.
Right.
Like I'm always trying to put that in there, but they don't want to see it. They want to go, he's saying these things. Like one of my
like they're triggered.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I'm not easily triggered. Like even like the stuff about women. Like it's
Yeah.
like a woman would be like, oh, he doesn't respect me, and then right after that, I'm seeing a post about Jeannie, and it's like, no, she's a boss. She checked me when I needed to be checked.
Yeah.
She was absolutely in charge. I'm like, all right, you guys.
I know. Also,
you're tight in my hands.
Also, why are these rules only being so judged on me?
Right.
You know, like a female comic will go up and talk shit about a man, her whole act.
Right.
And no one ever goes, can you believe the sexist? You know? Let's talk about race. You're allowed to say just anything you want if you're an Asian guy or a black comic or an Indian.
Yeah.
So there's no rules.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you can just be latently racist
Yeah,
about
we
Chinese
can.
guys.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we do.
Hey, 400 years, goddamn it.
Yeah.
400. We
So-
earned that racism.
I'm fine with it. I don't care at all.
Yeah.
So my whole precipice about life, or I don't even know if that's the right word. My whole like theory, I guess, is that like I ain't better than nobody. I am not better than anyone. I love everyone. But the trait is you ain't fucking better than me either.
Right.
We're all the same. We're in the same boat, and I love you, and just be my friend. And I just think that like that's also how I'm trying to write the jokes. Is like if I got something going this side, I'll go this side. Like I got a joke where I'm like, you know, everything's about feelings now. You know, so like even the weather. You know, they say the weather feels like. You're like, what are we doing? You know, I'm like, so like Republicans think the government controls the weather. All my Joe Rogan friends are like, well, they're seeding the clouds and the chemtrails.
Right.
And then all my liberal friends, they think we control the weather. You know, they're all going, oh, I didn't turn off the faucet. I need to buy a Prius, you know, or whatever. So I'm like, what are we doing? I'm always trying to be balanced. I try. But what they'll do is they'll watch this much of the clip and then go, look at how he's talking about liberals, or look at how he's talking about Joe Rogan. He's going to backstab Joe Rogan like that in his act. I'm like, you just can't win in our business. People are going to see what they want to see on those kind of things.
Let me ask you this: what's a failure you're grateful for, and what did it teach you?
My biggest one that's most public, I could probably think of a better one, but I crashed my car and got a DUI, and then wrestled with some cops, and then fled the scene. It was a whole deal, and it was very public, and it was the most humiliating, humbling thing I've ever been to. I was not fit for jail. I was not fit for all the things I bit off the, you know. And that's why I've been clean ever since. So I went to rehab and I went and got clean, and
Fuck yeah.
yeah. So I feel good. I'm very proud of it. But
Yeah,
that took a
Yeah, baby.
Absolutely, man.
but that took it was so humiliating. It was just like a very, very humbling experience. And
Well,
you know, have you ever had a point in your life where you just go, we might have screwed this up. You know, I need to really rethink everything. And so that was one of those moments for sure. I'm trying to think of another one where I think I've learned something from every like breakup, but that's more like just maybe not as, you know, interesting to talk about. But like from all those, I'm always like, oh, I was wrong here. You know, like
Right.
I'm always willing to like take responsibility on. There's a guy that I'm good friends with, and he's trying to figure out what he missed about me, because he lives in North Carolina, Charlotte. He's one of the greatest guys ever. I love him to death. And just every time I post something, he sends like this long chunk, like, what happened, man? When did you get so angry? Why are you so? And I'm like, I think what he's missing, and I want to send him this message, or maybe he'll see this podcast, is that like he's not hearing the words or my heart as much as he's hearing the tone. And so
Yes.
maybe that's what I'm guilty of.
But you're a
is that-
comic though.
yeah, maybe I'm guilty of having the wrong tone. You know, maybe it's coming off a little too angry up there.
Yeah, but you're a comic.
Right.
You're a comic, and comedically, your tone has not changed.
Yeah.
It's always had the slightly. Let me take you out of it. Bill Burr, when I'm watching Bill on stage, I see him assessing his life, and then there's a frustration, and that's comedically what we love about him.
100%.
Larry David, he's a little ornery about the world and the small microaggressions, and this is stupid.
Yes.
That you have that, not in their same way, because yours has this joyful child, like, come on, you guys, like, I love everybody thing on it, and that has not changed.
Right.
And as a comic, as a comedian, should have a certain amount of freedom to decide how they're going to approach each joke. Some comics want to be loud, some comics want to be thoughtful, some comics want to talk about this or that. And as a comic doing an art form, that's where it gets foggy for me. I'm like,
Also, shouldn't we be pushing back on these things?
yes.
In that kind of the idea You know, like that's kind of, in my opinion, like that's kind of what we're doing. Like they look to us to go, okay, like, you know, what's he? And I know it's like very arrogant to be like, we're the modern day philosophers and all this stuff. But in a way, like the audience does leave my show sometimes arguing with their wife and going, what made you laugh about that?
Yeah.
Or what was it that you responded to that bullshit when he was saying all that stuff about women? And now they get to have a conversation about like, you know, and I think that is the point. Like society's gotten real weird, and I think it's up to us to go like, hey, you know, here's my thoughts on this. What the hell's going on out there?
Yeah. So speaking so freely, like what happened with Charlie Kirk, and you speaking freely, do you ever now fear for your safety?
I have the last couple weeks, for sure.
Has anything?
Comedy clubs don't have security. You know, these comedy clubs, they don't do nothing. They just they'll let you come in with a backpack. Also, you seen the type of comics that we hang around with? These guys, there's a lot of weird looking comics that are, you know, they're just allowed to just be on the property like, oh, he's a comedian. So yeah, I've been afraid the last couple of weeks for sure, because once it gets vague, right? So like Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk said that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, right? That probably would trigger you, right? What do you mean? The great Dr. Martin Luther King was marching, risking his life every day for an act that you're going to say was a mistake?
Yeah.
Well, he was saying because now it was written so vaguely that now trans athletes are using it to be in women's sports. They're walking up to the front lines and saying the Civil Rights Act protects me and I get to now compete against your daughter in high school basketball. And Charlie Kirk was saying that we should have wrote it better.
It should have been specific for black
for
people
race.
at the time.
This was for the Civil Rights Act for Africa. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It isn't to be appropriated by men who think they're women to now go play in women's sports, which is about biological sex. That's all it was. But if you only hear that sliver, you go, fuck that guy. And I think that like what happens is, at least the last couple weeks, and I don't know if this is how everyone thinks, and hopefully it will end maybe someday, to be vague. Oh, well, his ideologies were dangerous. It's like, what ideologies?
Right.
Like, are we not allowed to have... What do you mean? Oh, well, it isn't about him. It's about the way he spoke contributed to a society of... And that's like biblical stuff. Like that, like to basically turn it on people who love you and say that's evil. Like
Do you feel your relationship with him changed the way you view yourself or the world?
My relationship with who?
With Charlie.
No, I mean, we weren't like best friends or anything. No, not at all. But my relationship with the current event of him being murdered in front of everyone and half of my friends celebrating it, that changed some things for sure. I think that is, that's, I mean, we're not talking about a guy losing his job or a guy getting punched for saying something stupid. We're talking about a man being murdered, and that's a pretty big deal. And, you know, assassinations we don't want that to become a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like...
we don't want celebrating death to become a thing.
Well, and also, like, let's say Charlie Kirk was a terrible racist and a bad person, and he gets shot in the neck, and people love that. Okay. You think that this guy deserved to be shot because he was a racist or whatever. What if it's your guy? What if tomorrow someone decides, you know, Barack Obama needs to be shot, or Joe Rogan needs to be shot, or Al Sharpton, or Kamala, or whoever you think is doing a good thing? You don't want this to become a thing. Remember Columbine? That was the scariest. Our whole country shut down. Like, what do you mean kids in school are being shot? Like, kids? What do you mean kids? Guns are in schools and kids? And then after the 20th school shooting, you go, this is just a thing. So you don't want it to start to become a thing. You know, where you just like, oh, another political person or another powerful person was shot. I mean, like, what if a comedian gets shot? You know, and then now that becomes a thing. Like, well, what did he expect? Look at Jeff Dye's Instagram. He must have known something was gonna happen. Like, that's your take on that?
Right.
That's crazy.
So I mean, now if there, we are here, so we have to speak about the things that are important and controversial. Crowd work. I like doing crowd work, bro. It's so fun. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I believe that there is clearly I'm starting to hate the term because going on stage fishing for something to be funny is annoying, It's irritating.
Takes
it's not
too
good.
long.
It takes too long, and the payoffs are normally trash because the comics that are doing are probably not good.
Right.
But there has to be an addendum put in for freestyling in real time.
Sure.
For taking a moment, because here's the funny part. One of the clips that I saw that went really viral about you doing the crowd work thing, and you were talking shit about crowd work, I was like, but technically, Jeff, you are freestyling right now.
Right.
Because you're really good off the quick cuff
Yeah.
and you're really quick. And I was like, yeah, but technically, baby, you're
Yeah.
doing the thing.
Doing
you know what I mean?
crowd work,
You're
making
doing
fun of
crowd
crowd
work.
work.
I was like, it's like a triple entendre. So it's like, have you, outside of like comics want to write material, so on and so forth, but we're also, speaking of the times that we're in,
Yeah.
we're also in this society now who watch
Sure.
concerts through a phone. They got a camera facing themselves. It's like, there is the people that are brilliant and are having the space in it, or the people that are quick and are writing in real time, coming up with a setup, a premise, a punchline, a tag, a callback within the space. Do you see a difference, or do you
I
like,
see a difference. Yeah, and I think the guys that are good at crowd work are great.
Yeah.
And like there's so many great crowd work moments that I love. There's so many like good crowd work comics. My instinct is I'm clearly just criticizing bad crowd work. I have to watch so much bad crowd work, and like setup should be short for the payoff. Like a punchline has to be more powerful than the setup. And so with crowd work, sometimes you're mining for like something for so long that now the punchline doesn't. The payoff wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
What do you think is bad, like crowd work? What do you consider that to be?
I think it's like I don't mind when something happens, you address it, address the crowd, do work on the crowd. That's fine. But when someone's like just going, so what, you come here alone? Hey, what's with that shirt? Hey, how long you been together? What do you do for a living? Like it's just lazy. Like what did you not write anything? You knew you had a show tonight. Now you just also, and this is where I get real bitchy. Like this is me being a bitch. Right?
Yeah.
This is me being a Karen. I sympathize with that audience member. This poor motherfucker, you're making fun of his shirt, and he's going, "Hey, shut the fuck up! Like this is my shirt," or you're gonna in front of his girl be like, "How long you been together?" and you fucking I just can't believe that like just because you have a microphone, you can make this guy look like a little bitch in front of his girl, in front of 300 people. This guy gave money, and now he's like, I thought I liked this guy. I sympathize with that audience member. Oh, you've been together that long, you ain't proposed. I'm like, you can't just do that to
That's
him.
me. I think I feel that way too, man.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. I'm like, this poor guy he's not bothering nobody, and you're going to make him look like a punk?
I'm the same way. I only do reactionary crowd work.
Right.
Yeah, I don't point out anybody.
I ain't gonna hold you. I be making shit up in real time. Sometimes I go on stage and I'm literally creating something that I saw. I actually don't need you to say anything. I'll go on stage and man, you look like a drug dealer from a movie with that second in command and and then it's like now but I've drew in all these parallels. I did a whole act out. Might have did a song in between that.
He's
and
great
on
at
to
it.
the next one. Yeah.
Well, that's
Great
like, if it's good, it's good. It's like rape joke, like don't make a rape joke unless it's good.
Right.
And that's I'm criticizing bad crowd work.
Yeah, I
I'm
got you.
tired of seeing
all are.
bad crowd work, and I posted kind of a rebuttal to that viral video because I love Matt Rife, I love Ian Bagg, I love Big J, there's plenty of Stavros. I'm trying to think of who else does like crowd work. There's so many crowd work
Nate
guys.
Jackson, Matt, Ian, you
they're
named,
good.
and
Jimmy Brogan had a whole career of it. Bob Zaney had a whole career of it. I'm not criticizing any of the good stuff. But like I had to use Matt Rife's name because he's the most famous.
That's what.
If I use a name of someone who I don't think is good at crowd work, the crowd's gonna go, "Who is he talking about?" I have to use the most famous name.
Right.
And so Matt Rife's just a victim of being the most famous guy in comedy that's doing crowd work right now.
And Matt Rife, we love you, and we can't wait to have you
love
here
Matt.
on Killing It.
Okay.
Hey,
That's the man, dude.
so we do have a game on here.
All right.
Okay, we got a game on here called Kill It or Let Live. All right, Kill It or Let Live. I'm gonna throw out a topic. You gonna say whether we should kill it or let it live.
And killing it means like I hate it.
You
get
hate
out
it.
of here.
Yeah, it
'Cause
needs
I
to
love
go.
killing it. And I love your podcast.
Yeah,
But
we
for this-
Awesome.
we gonna let live. We gonna let kill it. Let live.
Yeah. Okay, so just being clear. All right.
Kill it or let live. Guy and girl comedians hooking up with each other.
Does that happen? Aren't all the female comedians lesbians who are pissed off at us doing a bad impression of us on stage? All the female comedians act like the men that they hate on
That's so
stage.
funny.
Like all these female comics act like toxic men, and then they get off stage and hate toxic men.
That's so
I saw
funny.
the funniest.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's actually a
That's
solid
actually-
observation.
That's a pretty good
Bro.
observation.
So many of these
'Cause
chicks
they
are up there
talk
like,
shit.
I'm fucking go, and then they get off stage and they're like, you're a naughty boy. You're like, yeah, you were a naughty boy. Aren't you?
I saw the most hilarious meme the other day. It says, I don't know no lesbian, no butch lesbians that are 6'5". What's the hell? I was like, y'all just doing this to us.
Yeah.
All the lesbians are short. I was like, I thought y'all liked tall guys. That's
Yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so I would let that live. Let people hook up with whoever they want.
Okay, kill it or let live. Comics beefing with each other on podcasts.
Oh, let it live. Because guess what? I'm a big fan of pro wrestling.
Yes.
And it has a pro wrestling feel to it.
Yeah.
Also, if comics are supposed to be keeping it real, let's just keep it real. You know, like let's just be honest. And then also with conflict comes resolution. Right? So Mark Maron was just floating around in the world not knowing I had hurt feelings towards him. And by me airing that out, maybe recklessly, maybe immaturely, it made me and Mark Maron have to have a conversation, and there became resolution. So I think, air it out. Bill Burr would disagree. Like he doesn't believe in, like, he calls it cannibalism. You'll never hear him talk shit about like another comic. But also now I kind of feel like Bill Burr isn't being honest. Tell us who you hate. Let's drum it up. Let's have a good time.
We also want to say shout out to Bill Burr
Shout out to
for
Bill.
allowing us to use his studio,
Yeah.
and we would love to have you.
Yeah.
on
I'm killing it.
Let's go around and say which comics we hate. Let's keep it real.
Kill it or let live. Okay, I'm glad you said that because I had this one down. Kill it or let live. Doing a co-headlining tour with Mark Maron.
I would do it. Yeah, I mean, I would. That'd be hilarious. What an interesting audience we would drum up. There would be fights at tables, and yeah. I would love. I would love to sit down with Mark and literally just have a back and forth about our views. We don't even have to record it or anything. Just like, because I think that whenever you have an argument, you go, these are the 7 reasons I believe this argument. Like, but if you can't do that, then maybe that shouldn't be your take.
Right.
You know? And so I would love to just hear his defense of what I think are crazy positions, and I'm sure he hears mine and goes, "That's a crazy position," but I've got reasons. So
That's good TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
also,
let-
but nobody wants to
so-
come to co-headlining.
So let live. That's let live.
Yeah, let live.
I got 2 more. Kill it or let live. White women hooking up with black men.
Oh, let it live. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why would I have a strong position on that?
I don't know. It's stupid. Because
It's a myth. It's
By
a myth.
the way, there's some real black nationalism going along that we need to talk about.
Go for it.
Well, you'll hear these guys on podcasts or the Breakfast Club talk about, like, oh, black guy should only be with a black woman. I'm like, you can't talk like that.
Dr.
Oh,
Umar.
Dr. Umar,
Dr.
yeah.
Umar,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of bullshit you'll hear. Like, you go, that's not. I don't really appreciate that.
Now,
that
this
talk.
is what we've been
Jews
told.
do it. Jews are like, you'll only be with a Jewish woman and you'll only be with a Jewish boy. I was like, that's coming off real Hitlery. That's very that's very
Hitlery.
nationalist to.
Hillary?
What
Love
we've been-
everybody.
what we've been told in the
Yeah.
black community is typically white fathers don't want their daughters
Well,
with
fuck
black
those
men.
guys.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys. That's bullshit.
You're
Also,
okay.
hey, I'm fine with interracial couples. You know what I'm not fine with? Interracial food.
What? Go for it.
So you can, hey, 2 people falling in love of a different race or culture. That's the most beautiful thing I ever heard. But Japanese barbecue, fuck off. What are we? This is a fusion of Japanese and French. You go, get the fuck out of here. Get your shit in China. Leave it there. They don't mix our foods. What the fuck's wrong with you? Interracial food can fuck off.
This is my last one. Kill it or let live. Trans people in the military.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
okay.
Yeah, they seem to love shooting. These fuckers love to shoot things up and fucking.
All right, man. This has been.
It's been.
It's been killing. Wait. I got a question.
You have to talk about Better Late Than Never, man.
Oh, yeah.
How was it being on the journey of this show? How do you
The greatest.
being
For anyone who
around some
doesn't
of the
know what it
greats?
is, it was George Foreman, rest in peace, one of my favorite humans that's ever lived. Terry Bradshaw, Henry Winkler, and William Shatner.
Love hearing Winkler.
Me and those 4 men went to tons of different countries. Our first season was Asia. Our second season was Europe and Africa, and I got to experience all these things with these dudes, and
Yeah.
what a blessing from the Lord, like to have like 4 dads. I mean, these old dudes that lived everything. They gave me so much wisdom. They taught me so many things, and it was fun to just goof off with them. And
How'd you get that?
so it was based off of a different show that was made in Korea called Grandpa's Over Flowers, and the premise of that show was that this young guy's grandpa had lived his whole life working, and he's now an old man. He's going to retire. So his son was like, I'm going to take you and your friends, and we're going to go do things. And the young guy would get them to do things they didn't want to do. Like, we're going to go skydiving. They're like, we're old. We don't want to skydive.
Gotcha.
So the young guy was kind of a nuisance to their old manness.
That's beautiful.
And so same with this one is I was the young guy, and they were supposed to be like these grumpy old guys, but they weren't even grumpy. They were just fun to be around. And the show was great. We had our own little American spin on it, and it became what it was. One of the best shows ever. So sad that George was the first one to die, because they're all old guys. You know, William Shatner's in his 90s.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so for George to be the first one to pass was none of us were expecting that.
I mean, he lived up to the Negro stereotype. We got to clock out.
You say it was
George Foreman?
He had a
George Foreman.
He had a George Foreman grill,
Which was
so
good.
he ate healthy.
Got me through college.
Okay.
George was the
Um,
best. George Foreman was the greatest.
Top 5 wrestlers.
Oh, good question.
Come on, man. You knew this.
So now, how is it? Top 5, like as far as like just how are we measuring? Because
your
it's my
call.
favorites.
Yeah, it
Okay.
could be your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, Razor Ramon,
Okay, I like
Macho
this.
Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, I
Macho.
like that. I got to put Hogan in there just because age 0, or sorry, probably age like 5 to like 10. There was nobody cool. He was like the mascot of America.
He
like,
was, he was the guy.
So he's the first. He's the reason I got into wrestling. I was like, "Who's this guy?" And like, I just really liked Hogan when I was a baby, so I got to give him that.
I got backlash when I was sad about Hogan when I posted on social media.
Yeah.
People were
Yeah,
mad
of
about
course,
that?
man.
Oh,
People
yes.
were mad about everything,
Yeah,
bro.
they were.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean,
So yeah, definitely Hogan, Macho, Randy.
Razor Ramon. You got one more.
No, I got 2 more. You
Two
said
more.
Oh, two. I'm
5,
sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Macho and Randy. I put together.
I'm trying to think of the guys, the current guys. I mean, The Rock is. I mean, The Rock,
Rock,
is
baby.
the fucking goat. I have all these guys that are like obscure picks, but I think and then Stone Cold.
John
I think
Morrison. I
that-
fucking love John Morrison. All right. no.
yeah, well, I was gonna say Penta because I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
big Penta fan, but like
Yeah.
he's too new to be in the top 5.
But his pitch
yeah,
is great.
or
though.
like Ahmed Johnson for like 5 years.
Oh,
was, like,
yeah,
the guy,
man.
But you can't put him on the Rushmore.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
All right.
What's
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
So this is my only other one was, what does it look like for you career wise if you can picture it? Like,
Sure.
is it TVs, movies, producing, directing? Like, do you know you got a band?
No, I want to do exactly what I'm doing right now for way more money and for way more people. Like, I want to be able to be a stand-up comedian, the biggest, greatest stand-up comedian that's ever lived. And I always thought like Eddie Murphy just what a fucking guy. He was the greatest.
Yeah.
And if you could think, hey, tonight let's go down to the Laugh Factory and hear what Eddie Murphy's talking about. Or like Chappelle was doing it for a long time, like
Right.
where like you're like, Dave Chappelle's just gonna be at the Comedy Store,
Right.
and I want to be that guy, and I want people to. I'd love if people saw me the way you described earlier. That made me very happy to hear. I want people to get me, and then I don't want to be controversial. I want people to go, man, that's a reasonable take, and let's go hear what he's talking about. You
Yeah.
know, let's go hear what he's talking about down the street, and so that's what I'd like to be.
Absolutely.
I'm done with movies and
yeah.
TV.
Last
really?
thing.
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
my bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I did want to get that question in.
Go ahead,
You told me a while ago that you stopped auditioning.
Yeah.
What went behind that?
So it was like just looking internally. So like, here's the thing. No disrespect, I'm not crazy about actors. All my friends are real people, you know, and actors, like for every 10 actors I meet, I like about one of them, you know? So like, they're very talented and they're so good at what they do, but people that could just make themselves cry on demand, like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. This is dishonest, you know? like you're breaking the code of like what we're supposed to be behaving like. So I'm not crazy about being around actors. I think whenever I shoot a movie or a show, I'm sitting in a trailer for like 7 hours, and then they finally get me to set, and now I'm sitting in a different chair for like an hour. And then when I get out there, I'm not that into the process of acting and giving my performance. So I had to ask myself, like, what am I doing this for then? So that I can show my friends that, like, the premiere, so we can go to the movie theater and I go, look, it's me up there. Those are all ego-driven things. Like, whereas, like, I was like, oh, so the only part I like is the look at me part. I don't like the process. The money's not that great. I don't like how long it takes. I don't like the people I'm around. I'm not crazy about the script writing as far as I disagree with it morally a lot of the time. So I'm like, this has become an ego thing for me, and I don't want to do it. Whereas with stand-up, I love comedians. I love being in the setting that comedians are in. I love tinkering with a joke. I love like when a bit starts to really pop. I love the audience love afterwards. I like all the symptoms of comedy. People being so I'm in love with stand-up comedy for all the right reasons. Whereas with movies and acting, I just like the symptoms of it, the attention.
If there was a room filled with everybody that you've met along the way,
Yeah.
who would you go to first and why?
The great Terry Bradshaw. He's the only, or not the only, because that would sound strange, but he's the best example of loving everyone. Terry Bradshaw walks in this room, he's going to paw you, hey, BT Kingsley, I heard about you, bub. And he can say things that are wildly inappropriate, but everyone knows his heart, and so they don't mind. I brought J.C. Carias, very funny comedian, one of my favorite humans. I brought him to see Terry Bradshaw's one-man show in Vegas, and we're in the thing. And J.C.'s a big boy, you know, very funny comedian. And Terry goes, hey, man, look at you, big fat guy, you know, and, like, everyone laughs. And I'm mortified. I'm like, oh, God, you know, my father figure just called my friend a fag. He just met him. And then J.C.'s like, no, you could tell it was nice. Like, you could tell, like, he was just...
The love was behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The spirit of Terry Bradshaw, the soul of this man is so loving and inviting, and, like, I aspire to be like that. Like, he has, you know, I don't know why he does it or where he got it from, but it's very Christ-like, and it's very fun to be around.
Nice.
Hey,
Oh,
man,
yeah, man.
let people know where they could get tickets for your shows.
Yeah, just go to jeffdye.com. All the shows are on there, all the stuff. All my socials is Jeff Dye. I won't follow you. And but I also have a podcast called Die Hard, and it's just me talking. Just me, no guests, no frills, no
those.
game or gimmick, just me talking.
There it
man.
is. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Dye.
Jeff
Hey.
Dye.
Yeah, baby, we
Love you
did
guys.
it.
Thanks for having me.
Love
That
you
was
back,
great,
man.
man.
Thank you, boys.
All right, let's get this photo. I get the hell out of here.